20,000-point scorer in the NBA. Congratulations, Tommy C.
But great expectations disintegrated in the first round of the playoffs. No championship, no ring, no respect. The dawn of this season breaks on a team with a common cause. Veterans, rookie and coaches united with the determination to
get it, that championship ring. So all other teams, you better look out. Big Dog and his boys, we coming. Mailman, Stockton, all of us, we'll be there.
That is the Big Dog, and welcome to our second half hour of tonight's Jazz preseason special. We'll hook you up with head coach Jerry Sloan in just a bit. Sloan, by the way, in his 8th season as head coach of the Utah Jazz, and once again, Sloan trying to mesh the old pros with a few new faces. And Kathy Aiken, every year, the goal is to find 12 guys that can win a ring, and this year, no exception.
That's right, Bowler. I tell you, no one on this team has an NBA ring. They want to put one right here this season, but as of yet, no one has one.
Kathy, we know Stock and Malone aren't getting any younger. That's been well documented, and plus injuries have been a real big problem in this preseason especially.
You know, Craig, you and I both have covered the Jazz. I think it's 10 years now, and I have never seen anything like this. So many injuries, and I'll tell you, Mike Szymanski certainly is going to have his hands full this season.
4 new players for Sloan to fit into this scheme of things, and the big test begins on Friday night. It's just around the corner. You can kind of feel the intensity building, can't you?
That's right, Greg. As you can see, the Delta Center behind me, the lights are on. Pearl Jam is over there, and concert goers are certainly getting excited. But come Friday night, the Jazz will take center stage. Now, most of the stars will be back, but the 4 new Jazzmen, all of them are very happy to be in Utah. Blue Edwards, Tom Chambers, John Crotty, all casualties of off-season roster moves. With those casualties come replacements. #1 draft pick Greg Ostertag from Kansas, Chris Morris from the Nets, Andy Toolson in his 2nd stint with the Jazz, and Greg Foster, free agent from Minnesota. Has this been a culture shock for you to move here?
To say the least. Being from Oakland, California, yeah, it's a culture shock, but what impresses me the most is how clean the city is.
It's more laid back, and I think that's one thing I needed, you know, instead of listening to a lot of noise out on the street and a lot of shooting, you know.
Jerry Sloan has earned every penny of his paycheck this preseason. Trying to mesh 4 new players into a great team isn't easy.
I'd say that's probably maybe 1 or so more than what you'd really like to have.
Yeah, good or bad? Is that tougher?
Well, it all depends. We'll know after 82 games.
Left baseline, Chris Morris drive, hangs.
For Chris Morris, having the Nets in his rearview mirror seems too good to be true.
It's like the statue holding the world on his shoulders, you know, but it's just like me holding a big boulder, you know, trying to keep it up for the longest possible. So once I got it off, and it's just like a sigh of relief.
And despite the culture shock, Greg Foster just wants to win.
It's a tremendous difference between a good team and a seller team, saying it feels real good to finally be on a winning team.
Greg Ostertag knows all about winning. He did lots of it at Kansas.
I came right in out of college into a starting role, and they expected me to play a lot of minutes. And, you know, I got a little tired out there the last couple of nights, but, you know, I'm working hard, and I'm doing what they want me to do, and, you know, a couple of guys have taken me under their wing.
You've already played against some good centers. You've seen Smits, you've seen Ewing. What do you think?
They ain't got nothing on me. No, just kidding.
Ostertag won't have to worry about Ewing on November 12th. The Jazz center injured his hand on Monday and could be out. But Andy Toolson should be ready, though his health has been in doubt.
You just got to keep playing. I've been around this stuff long enough to know that there's ups and downs, and you just got to try to keep a steady head and keep playing, and things usually work out.
The good news is the team's main nucleus is still intact and, knock on wood, healthy. Added the new faces, and the Jazz should be contenders. What's changed now that you're back with the Jazz compared to when you were here before?
I think they're more solid from top to bottom. I think that you know, ownership and everybody realizes that you know, we want to give it a go here for another year or two with Carl and John in their prime, and hopefully come away with something big.
Well, obviously, Craig, that something big would be an NBA championship. Now, I talked to Greg Foster a couple of days ago, and he told me he wasn't real sure what his role was with the Jazz. But I'll tell you what, after all these injuries, Craig, he just may be starting come Friday night.
Kind of a, well, not a scary thought, but here's a guy that really hasn't had a lot of NBA time. You thought Ostertag would be there. Donaldson, the old pro, he's injured too. So, hey, you may see Malone playing the post, you know?
That's very true, but I'll tell you what, Greg Foster's very confident, and I think he'll do a great job if Jerry Sloan calls on him to start at center or any position Friday night.
All right, Kathy Aiken, thanks for the report. All right, stay tuned. Jazz head coach Jerry Sloan is standing by with Brad Steinke. We'll talk to the coach after this timeout. Don't go away.
Let's talk for a minute about vehicle emission and inspection. I'd like to say 4 words: just emissions and inspections. Like their name, that's all they do.
We're still looking for Felton Spencer. We've got Greg Ostertag trying to play the center position, trying to get in shape. So I'd say we're probably behind as to where we'd like to be.
Well, there's the man, head coach Jerry Sloan, and welcome back. You know, you won't find a lot of coaches in the NBA who would sit down on a night off and talk live for a half an hour, especially if they have to talk to Brad Steinke and me. Brad and the coach are at Westminster College. And Brad, what do you say we throw a double team on coach, huh?
Yeah, earlier we said one-on-one. I think this can be a double team tonight, but certainly Jerry Sloan, as he enters his 8th season with the Jazz, a lot of question marks. Injuries, we mentioned it earlier in our 6 o'clock broadcast, probably the most you've seen this early, and certainly guys will heal up, but it's a crucial time for the guys to get to know their scheme in the offense and how they work with teammates. So it's been tough as a head coach, I would imagine, just not knowing who you have on a given day.
Well, that's part of it, but you know, everybody has to adjust to those things, and that's, I keep saying this, I know it's repetitive, but you know, these guys are good enough players in this business. This league is a great league, and guys make those adjustments during the season. They have to make them getting ready to start the season. That's just part of the business. We'd all like to have everything go smoothly for us, but sometimes it doesn't work that way.
The key injury, obviously, to Ostertag just recently. He's going to be out for about a couple of weeks. Was the rookie coming along at a pace that you were pleased with? We've got some video here. The first rounder out of Kansas. Seems like he's made a commitment to some people, including Karl Malone. He promised Karl Malone that he would not quit. Karl's been working with him, but was he progressing like you had wanted?
Well, he's made tremendous strides. If you try to look at where he was, 27, 28 days ago, whenever he first came in here, that's the first opportunity we had to work with him, and I'd say he's made tremendous strides. But on the other hand, he has tremendous strides to go to be a legitimate player in this league. He's got to get it, like I said earlier, he's got to get in better shape. When you're fighting to get in shape, it's very difficult to be able to pick up on some of the things you really need to work on, because you're fighting just to try to survive up and down the floor, because the game is a lot quicker, and you're out on the floor and you can't hide, especially when you're in center position.
Hey, Jerry, Craig back in the studio.
Craig.
How you doing?
Good.
Hey, how about Chris Morris? You know, here's a guy that comes in from the Nets, hangs around Coleman, getting a bad rap with a bad attitude. I figure if there's one guy that can straighten him out, it's Jerry Sloan, it's John Stockton, it's Karl Malone. How has he fit into the scheme so far as well?
I think he's fit into things very well, Craig. You know, we can't worry about what happened with him in New Jersey. He's coming to a good, solid organization with players that really look forward to bringing guys in here. If they can play, they want them here, and they want to try to help them become better players and hopefully have a better chance to win ball games. And you know, you forget about what they've had in the past. That happens with every team in the league. They bring guys in, and until he puts himself in a situation where you can't deal with him, he's going to be just fine. I don't see that happening at all here, because Chris has worked very hard. He's you know, there's been some adjustments for him, but it's like any rookie coming into a different team. Our team is a little bit different maybe in some ways, because we do play through Stockton, Malone, and Hornacek have been a big part of our team, and other guys have had to kind of fill in around that, because you know, obviously your great players are going to be so much involved in what's going on the floor, and I think Chris will fit into that, and we need the kind of player he presents to this team. It's just a matter of him playing every night and giving the fans what they want to see.
Coach, I want to take you back to Game 5 of the Rockets series. It's a game you guys are up 10 points with about 4 minutes to play. I'm sure it was a long, tough summer for you. What actually, in your mind now, looking back, went wrong? Of course, Drexler coming on strong down the stretch, but the Jazz were touted to really take it all, however, took the eventual champions to 5. What happened?
Well, I think it's very simple, in my opinion. But one of the things, in order to win a championship in this league that's been prevalent for a number of years, 20, 25 years, there's been a couple teams that won championships without a rebounding guard. And to me, that's one of the most important things that you have to have. You can play around it, but we know if your guards are big enough, but we have two of the smallest guards really starting in the league to be able to defend some of the bigger people. And Drexler was certainly one of those players, not to take anything away from Hornacek or anybody that had to play against him, but he stepped his game up. He has that ability to step up to another level. I can't say that about our players, that they have the ability to step it up to another level, because they play so hard for us every night, 82 games, and sure, we'd love to ask more of them, but you can't. You can ask, but you're not going to receive too much, because I see them play 82 games and know how hard they play and know the conditions that they play under so many times, and I can't say that for every team in the league, and it's some of the players that I've watched play over the last 30 years. But I can pretty much say that for the two guys that's been here, and most of the guys that play here all the times since I've been here. So I've been very fortunate that we've had those kind of people to work with. And sure, we're disappointed. I don't think I've ever been around a team so disappointed in a loss, but you know, that's a part of basketball you go on about, and we'll find out how strong we are. And to me, that's one of the very important things about being an athlete is how many basketball players come back after winning championships are really tough. You know, they talk about their toughness to win, but how tough are they after they've won? I see our guys have been never had a chance to, never won a championship, but they've shown me a great deal of toughness to come back and compete to try to get one. And to me, that says a great deal about the people we have here.
Hey, Coach, how frustrating was that? Because obviously you racked up the 60 wins, the best in franchise history, and came so very close. Do you see a sense of resolve in this year's team to kind of learn from that experience? And obviously Carl and Stockton, they want to wear a ring before their careers are done. Have they taken it to a new level in terms of their preseason determination and the way they're kind of building up the guys around them?
Well, they've always had the ability. They've always been the kind of players that want to try to help their teammates become better players. They've taken a lot of guys under their wings. Some of them couldn't play in this league, and they've worked very hard to help them. They've always been giving of themselves to try to make their teammates better. That's what makes them great players. They have been the same way this year as they've always been. They have always been helpful to the coaching staff. If they have a feeling about something that's going on in the game, that they're not afraid to come to us and talk about something going on off the floor that they think might hurt the team. That's what winners do. And these guys, everybody wants a ring, but you don't get one until you get a championship, and these guys know that, and they've worked as hard as anybody you can ask play the game. I have no doubts whatsoever that they will come and play as hard as they can, give everything to this franchise they can to try to win a championship. And, you know, you can talk about it all you want. These guys haven't really spent a lot of time talking about it. They come and play hard, and that's all you can ask. And there's 26 or 7 other teams around the league talking about winning a championship too. And most of that sometimes is just talk. But our guys, I think, have put a great deal of commitment into trying to be as good as they can be. They're in terrific shape. It's always interesting to me what kind of condition these guys come to camp in. When I see guys that haven't been with our franchise before in the last few years, rookies, young guys, new guys to the team come in, and they're not near as good a shape. And you know, they find out that our guys work hard and they want to win, and sometimes you just don't have the ability to be able to do so.
All right, Coach, we're going to stick around here, Craig, and we'll be back in a little bit, and we're going to talk about the Worm and the Midwest Division in just a bit.
Hey, make sure the coach stays right there.
Oh, we will.
All right, Jerry. We'll come back in just a bit. The other side of Jerry Sloan. Stick around, back in 2 minutes.
Hey, Dog, I need $1.
Oh, sorry, Lou. I spent my last buck on these burgers from Hardee's.
I know, that's why I need $1.
Oh! There. Coach's lucky dollar.
Now get 2 burgers from Hardee's for just $1, with 66% more beef than McDonald's. 2 burgers with lots of hot, juicy beef taste for just $1.
I don't know, Lou.
Don't worry, I left him my lucky IOU.
And for breakfast, get 2 apple cinnamon raisin biscuits for just 99 cents.
This holiday season, remember, we're close to home and we're close to you. And you're sure to find everything on your shopping list at money-saving prices like these. Scott 1000 sheet bath tissue, 2 for $5. Viva Ultra paper towels, 89 cents each. Vandycamp's fish sticks and fillets, $3.19 each. Classic pickles, $1.69. And Seneca applesauce, 2 for $3 at your neighborhood family grocery store.
We're close to home and close to you.
So what are you doing today? Today, Bob Johnson is in a home-based nursery picking out the perfect ficus. Nancy Malone is at home base finding mini blinds at guaranteed low prices. Bruce and Janice Miller are getting a free in-home consultation from a home-based kitchen designer. And today, the Parkers are using their new home-based credit card to save 10% on their first purchase. There are a million other ways we can help. Surely you can think of one. Home base, ready to help.
KSL News Radio 1160 is giving away $60,000 in cash and prizes with over 160 chances to win. It's our biggest giveaway ever. Just listen each morning at 7:15. You can win cool stuff like mountain bikes, inline skates, stereos, and more. Plus, on Big Prize Thursdays, win a trip to Mexico from FunJet and Murdoch Travel or $1,160 in cash. It's happening now on the only station giving away $60,000 in cash and prizes. KSL News Radio 1160.
Now, coach is never really happy. If you see a coach really happy, he's one that's getting ready to get his head knocked off in this business.
Well, we're talking with Jazz head coach Jerry Sloan. Let's take you back over to Westminster College along with Brad Steinke. And Jerry, let me ask you, 8th year as the head coach of the Jazz. You know, most coaches, you know, don't last 2, maybe 3 years, let alone 8. Why the success? You've outlived them all so far.
Well, it's pretty simple, Craig. You know, we have 2 great players in Stockton Malone, and I've been fortunate to be with them. And I just, you know, I guess I haven't worn on them as much as sometimes you do in the coaching business. You wear guys out, and they've been really great to work with. And it's their team, really. And when it started off that way, I just felt like that I was, when Frank stepped down from the coaching department, I just felt like I was trying to fill in for him, and still kind of feel that way because you know, that team, those 2 guys were here. They were the ones at the cornerstone of this franchise, and I just tried to carry it on, and that's, I've been fortunate the organization kept me in here from my standpoint.
Before we switch sides to the other side of Jerry Sloan, let me ask you about the chances for the Bulls. It looks like in the preseason polls, USA Today, they like the Bulls to come back and do it all again with Jordan and Pippen. Let me ask you, though, Rodman as a Chicago Bull, is this the guy, though, that can actually take the Bulls back to the top? I got my questions. How about you?
I don't have my questions about Rodman on the floor. When he steps out there on the floor, he is a competitive guy. He's a nasty guy. He's not afraid to compete against anybody. And whether you like what he does or not, you have to forget about that to some extent. He will take the extra step to try to win. And he's playing with great players, Pippen and Jordan. And Kukoc is a great player also that probably isn't going to get the attention, but there's 4 great players on one team, and it's when you get 4 great players on one team and the way the game is today, you got an excellent chance of winning it all. And I think that's what they probably expected when they got Rodman. Now, can he stay out of trouble, have problems off the floor, or while he's on the floor cause problems to get him suspended? When he's off the floor, will he have problems to get him suspended? I don't know those things. If we knew the answer to that, we wouldn't be in coaching. You know, we'd be doing something else, but Jerry, talent-wise, he's got it. They've got an excellent player, in my opinion, with Rodman.
Jerry, do you have a Rodman story by chance? You've had a few.
But you know, Craig, it'd take too long to tell it.
Coach, real quickly, let's talk about the Midwest Division, because when you've got the 2-time defending champion Rockets, San Antonio looks to be better. Dallas is a ball club that I think a lot of people like. Obviously, Denver is decent, but when you talk about Mashburn and Kidd and Jimmy Jackson, this is a fine young ball club.
I think they'll have an excellent team. They'll be tough to deal with. This Midwest Division is going to be very difficult. I think Minnesota's going to win more games this year because I think they're going to be solidified a little bit more and probably play, from what I understand, they're trying to play maybe a little bit smaller lineup, which you're going to have to match up against. And so I think it's going to be very difficult. Denver is a team that, you know, last year the expectations were high. They kind of hit bottom. To see how tough they are to fight back up. They've got the coach is going to be there all year, which probably help them, Bernie Bickerstaff. And so with that, I think you have a lot more solidification with that team, and they'll be tough to deal with. Everybody knows how the talent they have, and we are going to have a real tough time. There's nothing guaranteed. Everybody's talking championships. I'm just trying to win one game.
Hey, Coach, thanks for dropping by. Good luck this season.
All right,
Starts
Brad.
on
Thank
Friday.
you very much.
All right,
Thank you,
get those
Craig.
guys healthy, by the way.
Well, I'm not very good at that either.
All right, Gregor, back to you.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Jerry, we owe you one. I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot, pal.
Anytime.
All right, now Jerry and a few of his players went back to school today. You got to see this. That story when we come back. Don't go away.
So what I tried to do was give the kids some insight about how I felt about school and some of the things I went through, and to let them know that even though sometimes it may seem as if it's punishment, you know, when it's all said and done, it'll benefit you more than anything.
You know, it sometimes makes sense when you go shopping to take along a shovel and a pair of boots. What with all the advertising claims and promises we're inundated with? Let me make one simple suggestion. When you shop for cameras, camcorders, TVs, VCRs, or stereo equipment, put Inkley's at the top of your list. If you don't, well, you might never know if you're getting the best deal. Inkley's low everyday sale prices can save you money, and you won't have to wait for a weekend sale.
Dan the Maytag Man. Buy from him and you'll be a fan. Sells the best and he sells for less. Dan the Maytag Man.
It's Maytag month at Dan's with store-wide savings on dependable Maytag appliances. See us in Sugar House and Sandy.
Blowing away all the others. KSOP. We're all the country you need. 104.3 KSOP, Utah's best country.
Patience is a virtue.
But why wait? Right now is a great time to get your best deal on a new Nissan.
Life has its ups and downs.
Actually, there's nothing down when you finance a 96 Ultimate GXE with alloy wheels and you make no payments until 1996. Or lease a 96 Maxima GXE with alloy wheels for just $299 a month for 36 months with $2,000 down.
Rock and roll will live forever.
But these deals won't, so get a great deal today. Why wait?
Hello, National Insider. You won't believe what I have here. Sasquatch.
If you want to make all kinds of money, sell an astounding story to the supermarket tabloids.
No, I will not hold.
But until then, take care of the money you have with free checking from Washington Mutual.
I might be willing to negotiate an exclusive.
That's different. That's Washington Mutual.
Shh. Eat your banana.
And welcome back. You know, the Jazz are a community-minded franchise, always have, and today they went out to serve yet again. Rod Zundel is back also, and Rod, it's amazing. You know, we look at these guys, we look around the NBA nowadays, you hear nothing but trouble, but for the media in Salt Lake City, the Jazz make it too easy on us, huh?
Yeah, that's right, Buller. You know, the NBA has its stay-in-school program, but the Jazz are taking that one step further. Early this morning, it's like 7:30 a.m., right before their morning practice, Andy Toulson, Adam Keefe, Jamie Watson, and Coach Jerry Sloan headed to West Jordan to the Joel P. Jensen Middle School. Now, they didn't just make another average Joe Blow boring appearance. They got their hands dirty a little bit as teachers.
I'm going to college.
Probably been a long time since you've been in a classroom.
Well, it has been a long time. You know, and I always feared being in them, and I feared being in here today to start with, but I had a great time. To start off with, each one of these squares should be filled out with an NBA team that starts with a letter above the square. Everybody understand what we're doing here? I think I'm having more fun than y'all are.
I heard you were pretty tough on them, a disciplinarian.
No.
You told them to be quiet and write their names.
I did ask them to do that. I tell them it's hard to write their names talking. It's kind of like our players, hard for them to talk and play ball at the same time, too, you know.
Okay, which is tougher? A bunch of teenagers or a bunch of millionaire basketball players?
Well, I think you get fired quicker as a coach as you do as a teacher.
You want to keep it pretty formal. Not, dear so-and-so, how's it going?
Oh, he taught us how to write a business letter.
He was really good because he talked to us other than just as a teacher, as a friend too.
Yeah, I want to date his little brother. But he doesn't have one, so.
Did you check my cousins?
Oh, do you have any cousins? Do you have anyone that's younger and like relative?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to introduce to you your substitute teacher for the day, Mr. Jamie Watson. Applause, please.
Yeah, you always had a word of today, which is quick-sighted, which means romantic or idealistic to a foolish or impractical degree. She said both M's, right?
Yep.
Period here.
Well, now you haven't been out of school very long. How was it to come back?
Frightened. But basically what I tried to do was give the kids some insight about how I felt about school and some of the things I went through. And to let them know that even though sometimes it may seem as if it's punishment, you know, when it's all said and done, it'll benefit you more than anything.
Do you think that if your basketball career doesn't work out that you might want to be a teacher?
Nah, I don't think I ever want to be a teacher. Substitution, okay.
There's a pretty big national park in Florida that's made up entirely of swamps, Everglades. Anybody else know any national parks and where they are?
Have you ever been that close to an NBA player?
No.
He's tall, isn't he?
Yeah.
What do you think about Adam Keefe as a teacher today?
I think he'd be a great teacher. He's got a lot of interesting stories.
What about you?
He knows a lot about geography, and he'd be a real good geography teacher because he's been to a lot of places.
The teacher said she may be worried about her job. You were so good.
No, I don't think she has to worry about that for a couple of years, hopefully.
You ever thought about doing something like this?
Yeah, believe it or not, as funny as it sounds, I have. My mom's a teacher, and my grandfather was a teacher and principal and school superintendent, so I enjoyed teaching. I enjoy the fact of learning and gaining knowledge.
You know, Bowler, these guys might have a career after their basketball career is over, but the pay's not quite as good, though, Bowler.
No, not at all. That's for sure. Rod, nice job. Yeah, the pay would not even compare. All right, by the way, the Jazz must turn in their 12-man roster to the league by 4 o'clock tomorrow. Watch for Felton Spencer and Greg Ostertag to start the season on the IR. Jazz, by the way, play for real Friday night, Delta Center against the Seattle Supersonics, the first of 82 regular season games. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night. Good night.
3-on-1 break and Karl Malone over 3. Automatic 2 for somebody. Lopez inside. Look at Allen. Malone has passed Adrian Dantley on the all-time point scored list.
Turned in, blocked away. The screen knocked up in the air, and it goes in. Karl Malone slapped it up in the air, and he got the bucket. The mailman. Well, right to left. Good strong slammed up with the left hand. Oh, baby. Now back to Stockton, Jazz run. Stockton down the right side to the middle of the mailman. Another open shot. He hammers it down.
True 16-inch aluminum wheels, specially designed.